Hey guys, the Explorer 4 here, Horror Boy, and today is my first review under the brand new name. Decided to change it because a lot of people have told me that they prefer just Horror Boy over Horror Boy 465. Um, I don't know if you guys are missing the 465 or if you guys are wanting to come back. You guys can let me know about that, and we'll definitely get that changed. If you guys are cool with it, personally, I'm fine with it right now, so I'm willing to leave it just how it is. But yeah, new channel name. Gonna be doing some new designs, possibly try to get some new logos, talk to some friends, see if because I don't know how to really make new logos and backgrounds and stuff, but I'll probably like beg some of my friends to do it for me and um, and be like that. But anyways, guys, welcome to my third review in the Alien series, and it's been a while since I've done a review on the Alien movies or in any of the films from this series of reviews I'm doing. Um, and today we're getting into a very interesting time slot in this Alien series. Because today we're talking about Alien 3, which is the last Alien film in this DVD pack. And I don't know why, because there's four Alien movies, so why would you make a triple pack when you could make a quadruple pack, which is what they would make later on, and then they would make it a Blu-ray set, and now I feel salty because I got, which this was years ago when I got this triple pack, which was like, I think, $8. So it definitely saves money. Plus, these DVDs still do look decent, and they have some decent features. Plus, you get the special edition of Alien, which is pretty cool. But Alien 3 is a movie that came out in 1992, directed by David Fincher. Of course, David Fincher would go on to make Seven, amongst other films. Great director. Like I said before, these first three Alien movies are directed by from some really fantastic directors that I'm a really big fan of. And Alien 3 was always the movie in this pack, this triple pack. I've had this since I was probably 8. And I think it's about time to trade this out because look at that. It's got a hole in it. It's pretty aged. I want to get upgraded versions of these movies. Plus, I actually want to own like all the Alien movies instead of only owning 3. Well, 4. But maybe since the new Alien movie's out, Covenant, maybe they'll make a 5-movie pack or whatever. But, I definitely want to trade this in for a new DVD. Or not even DVD. I would rather have a Blu-ray of these movies because I heard these movies are beautiful in Blu-ray. But Alien 3 was always the film that I just could not sit through as a kid. Alien I was fine with. Aliens, also fine with. It had a lot of action, a lot of great stuff, a lot of awesome special effects. But Alien 3 was always one that I turned on and I got bored with and I couldn't really get into. And I really didn't watch all the way through until later. And really, Alien is the longest movie out of all of these movies. Because Alien is 154 minutes long. That's a long movie. And then Alien is 116 minutes. And then this Alien 3 is 115 minutes. So really, not by much, but Alien 3 is the lowest runtime. And it's, to me, the most boring movie. And as a kid, I remember I'd always look at that poster, and I'd be like, that's a pretty cool poster. I remember going to the DVD menu and watching the trailer and being, thinking the trailer was pretty awesome. And I just could never finish this movie. For the longest time, I never finished this movie because I thought it was so boring. And I don't know if I'm going to title this video as a rant or not because I don't really... There's really only one thing that irritates me about this movie, and it might turn this video into a rant. We'll see how it goes. But there's one detail about this movie that I really don't like. Besides that, I can't really hate on this movie too much. And I know it's going to shock people, but I'd prefer to watch Alien Resurrection over Alien 3. Only because I actually like the way that Alien Resurrection looks. People complain about the way the sets look and the lighting and stuff like that. I think it has some pretty energetic looking lighting. Like, that movie kind of reminds me of a Joel Schumacher lighting. And I don't know why, but every time I've watched Alien Resurrection, and yeah, the movie is not good. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's great, but I think Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection are both on the same level, both for different reasons. But Alien Resurrection I've always liked because it has that, to me, the sets look interesting. They're detailed, very interesting, and they're not really seen in other Alien movies. It's lit very, differently, and I like the way they built the ship and the way it looks, and I like the music in the film. I thought the music was decent. But we'll get to Alien Resurrection later. This is Alien 3, and to me, let's get into the story real quick. Let's get into the story. It takes place after Aliens, and pretty much Ripley and Newt and Hicks and Bishop are all in hypersleep, and then this bullcrap happens. So, a stray facehugger, which, by the way, I think dies after it gets out of the little eggs. Doesn't it die once it gets out of an egg? I thought that once it gets out of an egg and it only has like a certain amount of time before it dies to implant and impregnate one of these humans with the xenomorph babies or whatever. I thought it only had a short lifespan, because I know it dies immediately after it's done, implanting the alien embryo in people. But I don't know. It all depends on how many years it was on that ship and how much. Because I tried to figure this out, because I don't know how the stray facehugger got on that ship, because the alien queen got all of the eggs blown up by Ripley in a whole different area. The alien queen, I'm pretty sure, didn't just have a little facehugger on its shoulder saying, "Hey, go sneak into there, because they're gonna go in there and they're gonna go in a hyperspace after they kill me." No, the aliens are pretty smart, but they're not that smart. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where this facehugger came from. Just came out of nowhere, and nobody knows who got impregnated by this facehugger. It's just that somebody did, and it was out of all these people. And, the spaceship crashes on this planet. You find out that Hicks dies, Newt dies, Bishop is in bad shape, and Ripley almost died, but she's still alive. And pretty much Ripley gets put in this prison. There's a bunch of people in there that are ball with barcodes, and they're all kind of in there just working. They do they work with I don't know what they call it, but they work with I don't know why I want to call it steam work, but I don't know if that's the right term. Basically, they're working with lava and melting metal and doing grimy, dirty work, pretty much prison work. Doing this really grimy, dirty work. And Ripley's there. She gets put in this prison, and this giant planet is basically a wasteland with this prison on it. And while she's there, she meets a couple people, and then this facehugger is now stray, because that's the confusing thing to me, is that I guess there might have been two facehuggers, because one impregnates one of the people on the ship, and then the other one gets on this dog. Now, I know there's different scenes. There's different scenes because on different editions of this film, there's different ways that the alien gets loose. But in this version, it impregnates a dog, and the dog, of course, the chest bursts open, and you have this, granted, good idea of making a different kind of xenomorph. It's different looking. But the CGI is just, I don't know, to me, the CGI just does not age well. And to me, the rest of the movie goes on. Ripley shaves her head and, is obviously dealing with grief. They have to lay to rest, Hicks and Newt. She finds Bishop, asks who was the one that had this embryo. There's a scene where Ripley almost gets raped, which is to me crazy. I'm just like thinking, okay, it's just like Rob Zombie's unrated version of Halloween. Why is there a rape scene in Halloween? And why is there a rape scene in an Alien film? It's not needed. And you've got these other cast members that I just do not care about. I do not care about this guy who was in love with Ripley and they had a thing going on. And I didn't care about any of those other bald guys with barcodes. I didn't care about any of them. Really, Ripley was the only person I even cared about in this film. And she really, if you think about it, she doesn't really get to do much in this film. In Aliens, it was all about the return and, blowing these things up and killing these xenomorphs. There's hundreds and thousands of them. Here, we're back to one alien. And I get it. The reason that most people actually love this movie, or not most people, but some people actually really enjoyed this movie over Aliens because it goes back to the horror elements of Alien, the original. And my problem with that is there's no suspense to this movie. There's no dread. There's no scary moments. There's no creepy moments. There's no atmosphere. And that's the thing that this movie is missing, is atmosphere. Because it's a very bleak, very dull atmosphere. And at least Alien Resurrection, because I'm gonna say this because I've heard people say that Alien Resurrection is complete and utter garbage. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, well, yeah, it's a bad movie, but really, is it that bad? Because to me, you're getting some excellent gore effects. You're getting a short run time. At least to me, it felt like a short run time. The only bad thing I think about is the very end of the film. Well, there's actually two. A cloned Ripley and the end of the movie, where you see the human/xenomorph creature thing. It was ugly. It was really bad looking special effects. And I didn't like it because I thought it looked horrible. Besides that, what else does it have bad about it? To me, you have a decent cast. You got Ron Perlman. You got the guy, I can't remember his name right now. Oh, man, what is his name? I can't remember. From The Crow. He's the bad guy from The Crow. He was a cool cast member. You had interesting characters and interesting ideas to me. And, you had Brad Dourif, who was playing this really weird scientist guy, and this over-the-top gore effects. They made it like more of a gore movie. And I don't know. I know that's people's problems with that film, but to me, that movie at least tried to have fun with that kind of stuff. Here, it's trying to take it seriously, but it's just really not interesting. And I think that's the thing that turns me off with this movie, is that the atmosphere is bleak and dull. I don't care about any characters besides Ripley. Ripley doesn't really get much to do. There's not much action. There's no suspense. There's no scares. There's no creepiness. There's no atmosphere. There's no dread. There's no... even the score I can kind of get into, but it's not nearly as good as the first two movies. And to me, it's just a really slow-paced movie. Not much goes on in this film. It just kind of drags along, and as the movie goes along, of course, they got to figure out how they're going to actually kill this alien, because they have no weapons, they have no ammunition, and they end up trying to fight, makeshift flamethrowers and stuff like that, and basically, they end up battling this alien, and this alien doesn't end up killing Ripley, because you find that Ripley is the one that has this alien embryo in her. And what I can't figure out is, they've been talking about doing an Alien 5 for so long. Not just the Prometheus and Alien Covenant movies. They were going to make an actual sequel, because those are prequels. They were actually going to make a sequel to either 3 or Resurrection, I can't remember. And they was going to have Sigourney Weaver come back into Ripley. The thing that I don't get is at the end of this movie, Ripley sacrificed herself to kill the last xenomorph. And she drops into that, I don't know if it's lava or molten metal, I can't remember what it was, but she falls into it and sacrifices herself to stop these aliens, And of course they kill the other alien. There's the only person who survives is this guy this side character who's pretty much a douchebag, so he ends up surviving. You have, I guess, the real bishop, the guy who the bishop clone was, from. And he comes in, and then, the guy, the last survivor gets out of there, and pretty much everybody else gets killed. And I don't know. It's just, to me, nothing about this movie is that good. So I guess this can be a rant. I still don't know if I'm gonna make it a rant or not. We'll see. But I can't get frustrated at it. I can't get utterly and completely mad at this film, because to me, some of the shots are decent. Some of the camera work is decent. Direction by David Finch. David Fincher. I almost said David Finch. David Fincher is decent. Is decent. Um, Ripley is good. I love that one scene. There's one scene I can say that I really enjoyed in this movie, and it's the scene where Ripley's boyfriend gets killed, and this xenomorph comes out, and her and the xenomorph kind of have this face-to-face conflict. I thought the idea of it looked good. It looked good in a poster. It was a good moment in the Alien series, you know, and I thought Sigourney Weaver did a great job acting in that scene. The special effect, the up-close special effect of the alien head looked pretty good. But besides that, I really can't think of anything else to say about Alien 3. I mean, it's really just a lackluster movie. There's not much to this sequel. And I guess I'll put Rant in the title. But, I mean, I can't break it into a million pieces because I'm so frustrated at it. But it is definitely lackluster. It is lackluster. But anyways, that's pretty much my thoughts on Alien 3. If you guys have anything to say, put in the comments your thoughts on Alien 3. And I'll see you guys in a second for my review on Alien Resurrection. So I'll see you guys then. The Explorer of Horror, Horror Boy, is out. Bye, guys.